the mother, he was saying, wait for the mother, watch for the mother, and then he went on to say, I will send you a counselor, a comforter, the Holy Spirit who will teach you all things. Mataji has come not only to teach you all things, but to give you the experience that Christ spoke of, the experience of self-realization, of being born again. Many of you have received it already. Tonight, Mother will spend some time telling you about Kundalini and about the chakras so that you'll more fully understand what has happened to you. Without any further ado, again I introduce Mataji Nirmala Devi.
Good evening to you.
Good evening. Just a moment. I'll just put this on.
Just let me take off this.
I'm sorry.
So what? All right. Yesterday I told you that God has created us with a purpose, and unless and until we find out our purpose, unless and until we find out our absolute, we are going to seek and we are not going to be happy. He has done everything very beautifully. Now we should understand what are we really inside. Moreover, as I explained to you yesterday, that whatever I say is to be taken as a hypothesis, as a scientist who would keep his mind open and see for himself, because everything is not known to you. And whatever I say, you have to keep your mind open. You need not accept me blindly, because blind faith is of no use. But if you get your enlightenment, you get your self-realization, you actualize it, you become, then you have to verify for yourself whatever I say, is it true or not. For example, if I say that the Christ, our Lord, is placed in this center of ours, at the Agya Chakra, which I will explain to you in details, you are not to believe me that he is placed there. But you have to see for yourself, when you get your realization, you will be able to raise the Kundalini of other people. And when you start raising the Kundalini, you will find that it will stop at this point, because you will become your own gurus. The Kundalini will move at your fingers. And then when you find the Kundalini has stopped here, you will be amazed that you will have to ask the seeker or the subject to say the Lord's Prayer. And that's the only way you can get out the Kundalini from that center. It's a mantra. It's a mantra. It's a chanting which was given to us. He could have given the Bija mantra, the seed of that chanting is Ham Ksham. But he didn't give, because he thought people will be, especially Christians, would be very rational people. So he thought better give a complete explanation of the whole thing. But every word of it is a mantra. But it is to be awakened. If it is not awakened, it's dead. It is to be awakened. This is the basis of Sahaja Yoga. Saha is born with you. Sahaja. Ja means born. And Saha is with. It's born with you, spontaneous. Its living process within you is your own right. You must have it. So this is a living process, and the living happening should take place. You should become your absolute. You should become your own guru. You should get complete integration within yourself. And then you will be able to discriminate, because the all-pervading power about which I told you yesterday is surrounding, is everywhere. Only you are to be awakened. Once you are awakened, you can start feeling them, the existence of that. around you, on your fingers. Imagine on your fingers you start feeling that cool breeze of the Holy Ghost. That should happen to all of us. And the time has come, the blossom time has come, and thousands must get their realization. With this, today I would explain to you the different centers we have within ourselves and the chakras that are within us. I was amazed in New York. They said that people are taking a lot of money for this chakra therapy. When I just can't understand what they do about it. But all those who came from these chakra therapies had all their chakras ruined completely. I mean, you pay to ruin your chakras. I just couldn't understand. Anybody coming from India is not a saint. On the contrary, as I told you, there could be greatest thuggery in India. Yes, they're very intelligent, cunning people. They can be very good. If they are good, they are very, very good. And if they are bad, they are horrid. So you have to be careful when you think of an Indian, that as we cannot say that all Americans are Mr. Ford in the same way, Indians also, you must know how to discriminate. First of all, your discrimination power must come. Otherwise, you won't be able to make out who is a real, who is not the real. That must happen to you. Unless and until that happens, the rest of it is of no use. Because as I said, this room is dark and your eyes are closed. When you come inside, you see nothing but darkness, and I start telling you this is this, and I tell you there's one elephant you can't see and there's one tiger sitting here. You just believe it. There's nothing like that here. And you people are definitely much more honest, that you can't believe how people could be such fake. Oh, there can be fake people all over the world. I'm ashamed of it sometimes when I see that in the great country of yoga, where such great incarnations came in, such great work of the saints has been done, horrible people also are born in the same place, because that's the place they want to harm, they want to attack. They are negative, not only negative, but they are very, very dangerous. I may tell about them tomorrow or day after, but today I want to tell you about the good things that you are, the beauty that you are, and how beautifully you are made within yourself. So within us, as I told you, lies this residual power called as Kundalini. This is the part of the all-pervading power, which thinks, which understands, which coordinates, which loves. Is the integration of all these powers within us as this Kundalini. Now, so many books have been written about Kundalini. When I read them, I was shocked that how could people write books about Kundalini without understanding what it meant, without understanding where it was. Such big books have been written on Kundalini, which says the Kundalini is in the stomach, some says Kundalini is in the nose. I don't know, how could people write? I mean, it takes nothing for them to write something and to publish. And they are not afraid of God that they are writing all these nonsensical things without understanding it. So this is the Kundalini that is placed in the sacrum bone. Now this bone, even in English, is called a sacrum. This word comes from Greece. As I told you, that Greek people knew about Kundalini. Sacrum means sacred. This bone is a sacred bone. And why is it a sacred bone? Because the Kundalini, the primordial desire within us to be one with the divine, is still unmanifested and sleeping, and is the safest place where it has to be. Now you are paying attention to me. Now if I say you pay attention to yourself, you cannot. You may say I am paying attention, but you cannot. You cannot take your attention inside. But if there is some happening within you, then your attention is drawn inside. So it is built like this, that at a human level, this happening will take place of sprouting. And when this sprouting takes place, then your attention is pulled inside. this attention has gone out because of the prismatic, as you say the prism here, prismatic action of the brain of a human being. I will not go into the details of it, but there is a big science about that, why our attention is outside all the time. Now below the Kundalini, which is 3.5 coils, is placed a very important center of innocence. Is the center of innocence. The first thing that was emitted out of the all-pervading power was, it had the form, I should say the all-pervading power was nothing but just innocence, which is the most powerful thing in this world, is your innocence. And this innocence is placed below the Kundalini and is adorned by the deity called as Sri Ganesha, who has a trunk like an elephant. This is the bija, this is the seed of Christ. This forms the seed. And then he incarnated on this earth. This is the subtle form on this earth. As Mahavishnu is written down in the Devi Purana, or we call him as Christ. The name Christ and his name Jesus also has a very big meaning and relates to something that happened before him. Now this great incarnation of Christ came on this earth, which was nothing but innocence. Innocence itself took the form, and it was the all-pervading power itself which took the form and came on this earth. That's why this is a very important center, is the beginning. Because it is innocence, it is like a lotus. And it is placed at a point where the gate to hell are open within us. This center gives rise in the gross. Now this is a subtle center called as Muladhara Chakra. Chakra Muladhara. Muladhara means the support of the root. Now root is the Kundalini. It is the support of the root. Kundalini is the mother. And this is your innocence. This is your childhood. And that's the mother. And the mother is there to give you your realization, waiting all the time. She is your own individual mother, and she is just waiting ages together to give you the experience of self-realization, to give you your second birth. Now the last center looks after, in the gross, the pelvic plexus, which you have heard of, which has also got 4 subplexuses. This has also got 4 petals, as we call it. There are 4 petals. So this center looks after the pelvic plexus in the gross, which looks after the excretion. This center we must consider at length a little bit, which is very important to understand, that this also looks after the sex and reproduction, mainly the sex and other excretions. Now you can see here that it is placed below the Kundalini. That means sex does not play any part in your evolution. It does not. Those people who say that sex has something to do with Kundalini are really blasphemous and very ugly people, because you cannot put sex to your mother. It's something even today is not accepted. When people have become so much lenient about sex, is not accepted. And this is what it is when people talk of sex and Kundalini together. As a mother, I give them a little chance, or sort of a little grace, because to say that they originated all this from deliberate action will be too much. I would say that maybe when they were meditating, at the sex point they might have seen Ganesha's trunk, which they might have thought to be the Kundalini. Possibly that's how they went into a wrong situation. But of course it's a very wrong thing. We have had cases in New York and here also, where the private parts of people were touched by some of the people and are having a very bad time with that action. That's your private. It has nothing to do with sex. Animals are more sex conscious than you are. Are they going to get evolution before you get? Moreover, the whole thing that is worked out in such a way that we have started having the sex through our mental activity, which is a wrong thing. Christ has said, thou shalt not have adultery. Thou should not commit adultery. But I say verily to you, thou shalt not have adulterous eyes. Because he knew this would happen one day, that the sex would move from there to this Swadhisthana chakra, the second chakra, by which we think. And then it will come into our thinking and our eyes will start roving around. And then actually the sex act minimizes. And it becomes a big problem. I mean, to be a sex point itself becomes an achievement for people there. It's such an absurd thing to do. And this is what is a very big confusion today in the modern times. I mean, you cannot make compromises with Christ. What he said is absolute. But unless and until you understand that sex as a married life, as a private thing, is the one that has been sanctioned for our sustenance as human beings, that has to be looked after, is to be respected, is sacred. And that's why anything else that we try to do, all kinds of perversions and these things, you won't believe that all kinds of perversions come to us because we are no more there. Mostly we get possessed. We had one boy who came to us in New York, and he told me, Mother, I'm a man, I have mustaches and everything, but I want to be like a woman. I want to be dressed up like a woman. And he talked like a woman. He said, I want to walk like a woman. I don't know what to do with myself. I'm so confused. And I cannot have any relationship with any woman because she gets confused with me also. And I don't know what is happening to me, why I want to be like this. And I could see he was possessed by a woman. He was just possessed by a woman. Simple thing as that. Very simple. It is extremely simple. And when that possession was removed, he said, I am a man again. It's so simple. In one day. He is a different man altogether today. Absolutely a different personality. And it can happen to a woman. We had somebody from Australia, and she got possessed by a man, and she started talking like that, and behavior, the whole thing, her husband got frightened, and he couldn't understand what's wrong with this lady. And the whole attitude, the whole beauty of a woman was lost into the style of a man, and it was so funny and odd to look at. Same thing. She came to Sahaja and the spirit ran away. She is a beautiful woman now, extremely beautiful, and they are having a very good relationship. So when you try to do anything perverted with the sex and do not respect it, you do not know what things are awaiting us around. So before I go to other chakras, I want to tell you about our other unknown areas which are very important to us, and then we'll go to the second chakra. As you see here, on the left hand side, this blue line is there. This blue line is our power of desire, by which we desire, by which God has, supposing this is the primordial being, because God has made you in his own image, supposing it is the image of God, then it is his desire. This power of desire gives you existence. And when this desire is over, when the spirit which is watching the drama of this body gets fed up, it disappears. Then the death comes in. This power of desire is the left side. We call it in Sanskrit as Ida Nadi, also called as the moon Nadi, and in the Hatha Yoga is the Tha Nadi. This is the channel, is a subtle channel. But this gives rise to the gross channel, which is the left sympathetic nervous system. Now doctors don't believe that left and right sympathetic nervous systems are too different. But you will find out yourself that they are very different. This looks after our emotional side, And also beyond this lies the area which is unknown to us, is the subconscious. It is unknown to us. Whatever is unknown is not God, is not from God's area. It is an unknown area, and beyond that subconscious area lies the collective subconscious, all that has died from our creation. Recently, I was seeing one of the series on cancer in London on the television, and they told that they have discovered some sort of proteins which they call as protein 58 and 56 and all that, they have given names, which they have also photographed, enter into our being from areas which are built within us, from unknown areas. They do not know if they are known areas, which are built within us since our creation. Now, I have told this about 10 years back in America before. And they trigger the happening of cancer. They trigger it. So it is from the collective subconscious this attack comes in. So if you move to the left side, you move to the collective subconscious too much. And then all kinds of things can happen to you. For example, first of all, you start getting shaking, you start hearing voices, you start feeling that you are losing your body, you are going on top of some place and seeing things, is all these spirits are doing. Now it has reached such a serious state that in Switzerland I found that many children were killed because of this action. The mother is supposing with some clairvoyant lady or somebody who is doing this spiritual work. It's a very dangerous thing. One should never take to this kind of a thing. If you take to these things, 7 generations suffer. Today only I had a girl who told me that her mother was a clairvoyant and all her life she was miserable with her husband, and this girl has been always crying and weeping and she cannot conceive or something like that. It's a very serious thing. One should never go into these unknown areas of the collective subconscious and worry about the dead and control them and look after them and call them. You must give them their freedom. It's a very dangerous area into which you enter. I hope you don't mind it. I have to tell you the truth. I am your mother, and I have to tell you the truth that you should be very careful about this kind of thing like psychics or the people who try to say that you can get possessed. They will not say. They say it is, they can even say this is Holy Ghost. They can say anything. But in whatever way, when you find that you are not in control of the situation, that means you are not there. It's very simple as that. Supposing your car is driving and suddenly it goes into a cut. Now, do you think that you have achieved a greater progress by that? It's just you have moved without your control. If you have no control upon yourself, if somebody is sitting down and he starts jumping, automatically he cannot control his jumping, then it is not himself, minimum of minimum. Whatever he is, even that control is lost. Anything, any such happening which is beyond your control means that you are enslaved by one of these possessions. But they are never satisfied with what they do to you. I mean, like I'll tell you one of the very starking example of this left side. In London we have, I don't know now if they have, but we had a center called Late Dr. Lang's International Curative Center. I didn't know about it, but a lady came to me in India to tell me about this. She said she had some problem with her stomach. And she wrote to this organization saying that please help me to get cured. And they wrote back saying that at 5 o'clock on such and such date, we'll enter into your body. I mean, they were honest, I must say, as English people are honest sometimes. So he was honest to say that we'll enter into your body. Some of the doctors are there who will enter into your body and they'll cure. But afterwards, after 5 years, the lady was rattling just like a junkie car. And she came to me and then she gave me the history of this, which I verified. The Dr. Lang, the one who is the one who is supposed to be running is late, he is dead. He entered into a soldier in Vietnam, an American, and told him that you go and talk to my son and tell him that I have entered into you and that you should start such and such organization. Now this soldier has never done anything, I mean he has never seen a scalper also. He doesn't know how to operate, no question. This soldier went to the son and told him, and he told him certain secrets which convinced the boy, and they started that organization. This organization went on like this. And this soldier of all the persons used to do the operation. It's called psychic operation, all sorts of things, and he had never seen anything. And he used to be possessed by this man, and he did it. But why didn't he go to his son directly? Because he knew about the dangers. And the same son will end up, I am sure, 100%. The same gentleman who is operating and the son with some trouble, which is of a very serious nature. Because never play with the fire, which is the subconscious, the collective subconscious. You have to be in the present and not in the past. Now the people who think too much about their past, what was my previous life, why should you worry? Whatever it was is better today because you can get realization today. You could not get realization even if you were the king of Egypt, what does it matter? You couldn't get your realization that day. So why worry about the past? All the time worrying about the past or playing with your emotions, you see. Like we had one gentleman who used to always cry and weep too much, and his mother sent it to me. And I asked him, what did you do all your life? He said, I was very fond of Lord Byron and I just read him. I said, all right, that's it. This Lord Byron, he led such a horrible life himself, an unholy person, and made everybody cry. You suffer, you must weep. Why should you suffer? The idea of a saint is that a person who is absolutely in bones, walking like a TB patient, is a saint. I mean, it's something sadistic. I can't see Christ. I was so happy to see that you showed him as a resurrection. That is his message. His resurrection is his message. Crucifixion is just a means, but resurrection is the thing. And a lanky-panky stuff walking like a saint, how can that be? Is it possible a person who is bestowed with God's blessings has to be a healthy, cheerful, and a very happy person? Has to be that. Minimum of minimum should be that. And I was happy to see even Mr. Paulson here, who was very healthy, and this thing I said, now this is a religious place, because wherever I go, I find such serious and absolutely sickly people. So the people who believe in sufferings, like the Jews, they deny Christ. Why? Because he was a Jew. It's absolutely true about human nature. If I was an American, you would not have accepted me. In India, the Indian Christians, in whose community I was born, have not accepted me at all. Can you imagine? I have got Muslim disciples, Hindus, I have got Parsis and Sikhs, but hardly one or two, and maybe my family people. They have not accepted me. They didn't accept Christ. And because they didn't accept, they wouldn't accept that he suffered for us. Why should we suffer? Has he suffered less for you anyway? Has he left some for you to suffer? So, you want to suffer, all right, have Hitler and suffer. That's it, have it. If you enjoy suffering, why not? And it started like that. Actually, when Hitler came, for 11 years, you will be amazed, 11 years, these people were supposed to be suffering among themselves, you see. In France, if you go today, people are sitting outside and they are talking of their sufferings and money and other nonsensical things. They are waiting for the day. They said that in 82, in any case, we are going to be finished. Waiting for that, discussing it very nicely. Les miserables, I call them, as they are. So why should you suffer? I just can't understand when Christ has suffered for you. Only he is to be awakened within us. If he is awakened, he takes away all our sufferings, all our conditionings, all our so-called karmas and everything, which I will show you later on how it works out. So now we come to the left side, then to the right side. Right side is the action, the power of action, is the Surya Nadi, is the channel of the sun. When you want to enact your desire, manifest it, then you use this action power. Ichha Shakti is called as Sanskrit. Now this power works mainly through this second center, or we call it the third center. Actually it is the third because the second one is that. This center is called as Swadhisthana, and this center has got 6, you can see 6 plexuses. It's like the Star of David. Moses preached something and Jews are doing something else. Christ preached something and Christians are doing something else. Adi Shankaracharya taught something and Hindus are doing just the opposite. Muhammad taught something and they did just the opposite. It's not only in religion, in every way you see how we are perverted. Like this center is used for converting the fat in your stomach for the use of your brain. Now do we realize that our brain is made of fat? Do we know all our nerves are made of fat? Now there's a general principle in this country that you should not use any butter, which is very wrong. When you don't use any butter, how are you going to supply this brain with something? I mean, where will you get? It's completely drained out. You use your brain so much so that this poor center has to work only for your thinking, which has no productivity. You just go on thinking. 2 horns come out of your head of thinking. Still you are thinking, and they go on growing. You cannot stop your thinking. And what are you thinking? What have you got out of your thinking? This right side is the one which is our 5 elements also. 5 elements within us. So when we started discovering what is the essence of the 5 elements, in India we started the Vedas thousands of years back, and the effect of that is shown now is the science. You discovered the science, that you understood how to master these 5 elements. But what did you do with it? You created bombs, horrible bombs you have created. You have created these devils, and now you are frightened of them. Thank God. That's something good, that all such ventures stop by themselves. Because you create a bomb, it becomes a devil on top of your head. Now you can't start war, because as soon as you start, means no more existence. So you are frightened, and that is how, where have we gone to? Science has led us to which sensible things we should think. For example, science has given us all these devices by which our life can be made very easy. We can have more time. We can have much more time than our forefathers had, who had to do everything with their own hands and go about it. But here you see that everything is instant. I mean, anything you want to have food, all right, you have instant. Everything is made instant. But for what is it instant? Is to save time. Now we have watches also here to save time. Everybody is saving time. Everybody busy saving time. Now what are you doing about the save time? What do we do with it? For example, there was a gentleman coming from India, very busy man, very busy. There's no time to talk to anyone. And I said, why are you in such a great hurry to go? Oh, you don't know. I'm very important for what? I have to attend a particular ball for 5 hours there. Very good. Is that the way you are going to say? And then I have to attend a race course. I have to do this, I have to do that. This is no saving of time. This is the real waste of time. Real waste of time is this way we do it. And how are we going to save our time? Time is to be saved, to be realized, to be in meditation, to enjoy the beauties of God. That's why these all things are given to us, and that's how we should look at them. But now that we have become their slaves. When we achieve something, for example, electricity is so important to New York that one day it stopped, the whole thing stopped. So we become also slaves to these. Apart from that, now we have no time. We are so busy. I don't know. I thought that here people will have more time than we have in India, because you see, if you have to travel, we have very funny trains, and we have not yet developed as you people are. Sometimes I have to go to villages in bullock carts and this and this. But people have no time. This is the trouble in these countries. They have no time at all, and I don't know what constructive work they are doing for themselves. So this is what is the right side where we go wrong. But the worst thing we do is to think. We think all the time. And what do we think? Either we think of aggression or we think of recession. For example, we think that, oh, we are guilty. You do something, and then you sit down, oh, I should not have done it, this is very wrong, I should not have done it, and you start wondering about it, correcting about it. But actual correction is not there. Actual correction is not there. Only by thinking you avoid the main issue. You have to be in the present. But thinking can only take you to the left or to the right, to the past or to the present. You cannot be at the state where you become just yourself. There's no thought. There's no mental activity at all. You just become. Because a thought rises like this and falls off. Another thought rises like that and falls off. In between them is a very little space, which is the present. So the past comes to the future and becomes, again the future comes in and again becomes a past, like that. But in between is the present, and that present is very small. Unless and until you know how to stay in that present, you will be always tossing on these waves of past and future, while past is finished and future doesn't exist. You plan out something, all plans goes out. You plan anything, but how can you plan also? I can't understand. Supposing you don't know the way, and you plan that I will go right and left. Now supposing you are going to the right and left is the sea, will you jump in the sea? Anything that you have to do new, you cannot plan it out. You have to keep it just open, like a seed when it sprouts. It has got a living cell at its tip. It goes and sees for itself how it has to move. When there is hardness, it moves around the hardness. When there is softness, it moves like that. So when we plan everything, we really become rigid. And like I heard of a person who planned everything for his picnic. He had all champagne and everything put together. And when he reached the place, he had no bottle opener. And he had to break the bottles. That's what it is. Sometimes the planning can be such a headache. I mean, you waste 1 hour in planning. And while it comes to reality, you find it's all wrong. It doesn't work out. It's too much planning. Like I have to go, supposing, to Los Angeles. I have to book my ticket. This is today. I have to do it today. I don't have to sit down and plan that on such and such date I'll go and book it. So in the present, if you know how to live, but this cannot be done by saying that you live in present. It cannot be done. I know, because that's not some sort of a thing that can be taught. It has to happen to you. You have to become that. Once you become that, then you become thoughtlessly aware. You become a witness. You see the whole show as a drama. And you don't get involved into it. You just see the waves coming up and going down. Like I can say, you are standing in the water and there are waves around and you are frightened. But if you are put in the boat, you start seeing those things. If you know how to swim, you can enjoy those waves. In the same way, when you become a master, when you come in the boat, in the state of thoughtless awareness, then you start seeing these things. And the whole thing appears like a drama. Actually, the whole thing is a drama, but the drama must end. For you to see that it's just a drama and you are unnecessarily worried about you. And by worry, you know for definite, nothing works out. But if I say, don't worry, you will worry more. That's not the way. That's not the way. They all tried these tricks to say, don't do that and don't do that. It never worked. With human beings, it doesn't work out. It's all right with animals. You can work it out. But with human beings, if you tell them don't, they'll do it 10 times. So best is to make them that. Unless and until they are made the spirit, it's impossible to convince a modern man to do something. So it's best is first let them have their realization. Let them have their light. Let them see for themselves what's the problem. Let them feel it and correct it. It's let them judge themselves. That is the best way is to do it. And that's the time has come for you to have it and see for yourself and be able to discriminate between false and reality. Now, this side beyond this is the supraconscious area. And beyond this is the collective supraconscious. Now, if you take LSD, for example, you take LSD, you go onto supraconscious area. I was surprised when I went to Colombia. I asked them, they had a condor as their emblem for Navy. And I said, how condor is your emblem? Because condor has nothing to do with the Navy. They said, our old Indians have told us that a god called Sri Vishnu, just see the name, came on a condor, and really condor is the conveyance of Vishnu. Can you imagine? I was amazed at this. How did these people in thousands of years back saw? But then I said, what were they doing normally? What was their pastime? And they showed me a thing made out of a shell of a fruit and with a little stirring rod in it. I said, what is this? They said they used to make some sort of an amrose. Oh, I see, that's it. And even today Peru is exporting that amrose to you, which is nothing but LSD. If you take things like that, of that nature, of LSD nature, you go to the right side. You move to your supraconscious area. Means you get disintegrated. In the morning I told you that when you are integrated, you don't see any auras or anything around the person. When you are disintegrated, only then you see, because you become these 5 elements. When you are integrated, you don't see anything. And then you start seeing these things like an eye and a light and all those things you start seeing. And if you go further with it, into supraconscious areas, you can become horribly possessed by the people who have been ambitious. Even Hitler can possess you. Hitler did that. Hitler did all supraconscious activity in Germany. How he possessed people was through supraconscious. Because in the supraconscious, collective supraconscious, there are many ambitious people who have died. Like Gauguin was an ambitious man, but he became mad. I don't know how he became mad. Normally, an ambitious man doesn't become mad. He makes everyone mad, but he doesn't become himself. But this fellow was possessed, and we saw it in the television that a man who was possessed by this Gauguin was painting just like him. I know. You see Gauguin's paintings, that you must be knowing also that in one line he puts lots of color, and he was doing it very fast. And he said, I'm possessed by Gauguin. So these ambitious people, like some of the ambitious people could be doctors, could be mathematicians, can be physicians or anything like that, they can possess. I know of a lady, she is a unique mathematician and she's possessed, definitely possessed. And she can tell you anything you ask her, any square root, anything she can tell. And she's earning a lot of money out of it, but she's always sick, she has a headache. She came to me for curing. I said, you have to give up this nonsense. She said, let me make sufficient money, then I'll give up. I said, by that time I may not be there. So these things can happen to you with the supraconscious activity. And this awareness of supraconscious is also very dangerous. The trouble is, if you suffer from the superego there, from this side, with the conditionings, you suffer. I mean, you get the pains all over the body, you might feel sick, you will cry and weep, you will be unhappy. It troubles you. But when you are possessed by this ego business, as it is, ego is too much. And then if you get possessed by somebody egoistical, then God save that person, and God save all the relations. Because such a person you cannot even talk. He's so aggressive. He's so aggressive. He will aggress all the other people. Ultimately, he himself becomes absolutely stupid fool. Many people whom we think are very successful in life really are stupid. If you look at them, they are really stupid people. Like we can say, this Kennedy's man, what was his name is, whom she married. He was a stupid fool. I have met him. I met him. He was a real fool, I tell you. I don't know how this woman married him, and she must be another stupid fool to marry. Both must be foolish. Actually, I met him very well because my husband is with the shipping, and I don't know how could she marry this old man like her grandfather. And what was the thing? Maybe the money part or whatever it was. I mean, it's so stupid. The whole thing is so stupid. And this stupidity you can see, even it grows with your age more and more, and you become more stupid. Like an 80-year-old woman writing love letters to an 18-year-old boy is stupidity, is absolute stupidity, I tell you. If you see it from wisdom point of view, one can't understand an old man who is like a great-grandfather writing a love letter to a little girl of 18 years, or an old woman who could be a great-great-great-grandmother writing to a little boy like that. It's absurd. And they are so stupid, and they talk like this, I believe in this. Of course, all the donkeys believe like that. So there's nothing new about it. But they are so staringly stupid that you are amazed, you know. Start looking at them, what's the matter with them? This is the blessing of this Mr. Ego, which exists in the head, sometimes goes up like a balloon. But you start seeing it. You start seeing it when you get your realization. I had a disciple, one of my sons, who came to me, and one day he said, Mother, I'm really frightened with one idea. I said, what is it? But you don't tell me if it is true. I said, what is it? He said, was I Napoleon in my last life? I said, what makes you think like that? Because I can see such a big ego on my head. This could be only Napoleon, and I know how to draw. These two things put together, could I have been Napoleon? But if I was, you don't tell me. Otherwise, I will commit suicide, even after realization. So it is, ego becomes then a headache to us. It becomes a headache, and we want to get rid of it. We start seeing it, and it presses you. You get a headache, and you feel it in the Agya, how it troubles you. Then it starts troubling you, not others so much as it troubles you, because you don't want to accept that you are egoistical. You start seeing it. But you don't say that you have an ego. You will come and tell me, Mother, I've got an Agya catchy, and we have to clear that Agya. Nobody feels bad about it, because you are separated from yourself. You don't feel that you are hurt or insulted, because you get separated and you see for yourself, like this sari has some sort of a black spot on it. So I see it, I take it out, and then I want to wash it. I don't want to keep it black. I'm not identified with it. So all these fixations also drop out when you get realized, because you go in the center, not on the left or to the right. Now movement on the right actually is the blessing of this center, in the center. Because the central line is the line of our evolution, is the line of sustenance, is the line by which we have become human beings. First of all, we get our sustenance. Like we can say, the gold is untarnishable. That is the sustenance of gold. We can say carbon has 4 valencies. In the same way, human beings have 10 valencies. They are in the stomach. These are the 10 sustenance described as the 10 commandments in the Bible. They all can be explained very well in Sahaja Yoga. This is the human sustenance which is around in that part, which we call as void. It's not the same void or the gap as the Zen, but this is the void. We mean the space where we exist in our evolutionary state. Now this center is the one that is presided over. This one, the second one, is presided over by the Creator, and this one is through the preserver, the one who preserves. Now there can be a problem with people who believe that there is one God. I also believe the same thing. I mean, it is true, there's only one God. But he has different aspects. God doesn't exist like, say, Rock of Gibraltar. Even Rock of Gibraltar, if you see, it has got aspects. God has aspects like a gentleman. Now say, for example, if a gentleman is a minister here, he could be a husband, he could be a father, he could be a brother, he could be anything. So God has different aspects. And out of that, the first aspect, as I told you, of the existence, the power of existence, that does not incarnate on this earth. It does not incarnate. It just exists, it watches, it sees. And that is in the heart, which is the spirit, expression of that God Almighty who is watching the spectacle of his power. Now, the other aspect of God is that he is a creator. He creates all these galaxies and all these things. Now, as I told you yesterday about the Vishuddhi chakra of this center, which is America, that if this center is awakened here, you don't have to have any missiles or anything. As in the Saturn, you have got a girdle around. You too have that girdle around America. And nobody can touch you. But you are to be awakened first of all. If you are awakened in that center, nobody can touch you. Russia is going to know about it. They have to know about it because they are getting into parapsychology and all these things, and they are going to get possessed of it. They have to know through their supraconscious that you are the people who are awakened. Once you are awakened, nobody can touch you because there's a girdle around you. And there are 16 subplexuses, as there are 16, you have seen there are 16 what you call them? Moons. They call them moons. 16 moons around Saturn. And you are one guided by Saturn. Saturn makes this country. Saturn has made this country. And this is the Vishuddhi chakra, which is a very important chakra about which I'll tell you later. So this center we come to of our evolution is presided by the preserver, the aspect of preservation. He is the father who looks after us. He is the one who gives us our well-being. He comes on this earth again and again in different forms. According to Indian Puranas, the Ark of Noah was saved by a fish which was a dolphin. And this dolphin fish was this aspect which incarnated. Then the second aspect came as the tortoise. Then the third as a quadruped. Like that they have described the evolution, how these incarnations had to come to break the barriers of the evolutionary ignorance. These are the people who came for the breakthrough. Ultimately, a short man was created called as Vamana. Then a very fiery big man, who is called as Poseidon in Greek language. Greeks made their gods look like human beings. I mean, they never kept their purity. See, everybody was given with some quality of a human being. I don't know why they did it, but that's how they spoiled the whole game. Now, this god, the god which we can say, or the incarnation that came on this earth, was a fiery man. A man who fought the nature, who fought all the different elements. And then after that came another aspect on this earth, who was Sri Rama, is the ideal king, the king who is a benevolent king, the one who gave us the political idea about how to govern. Sri Rama. This was 8,000 years back. Then came the incarnation. After that, the incarnation came in the center here. Before Rama, this incarnation was of the goddess, of the primordial mother. She herself incarnated on this earth before Rama, because many forces which were negative were collected by the ignorance of human beings. And the seekers were very much harmed. So she came on this earth to kill those horrible demonic forces and to destroy them and to save the seekers, her children, to save them from this drowning into the sea of illusion. And she came on this earth. As they say, she came 1,000 times, but actually she came many a times before Sri Rama came in. Then came Sri Rama, who came on the right hand side of the heart. Now this is also a very important center within us. Those people who have problems with the fatherhood. Like today there was a girl who was scratching on the right hand, this heart. This is the center. We asked her, what about her father? And she told me, my father is dead, but he's still guiding. I said, that's not good. You must give relief to your father. He should be given freedom, and you will feel better. And people with this heart get asthma. This side, this problem, on this finger we will get asthma, problems with their breathing. All these things can be cured if you just tell them that you ask your father to leave you and to be born again and forget about it. It works wonders, we have seen. But recently a doctor in England has performed some experiments with a, what you call, anorexia. There's a disease, anorexia, where the girls just don't eat any food. He found out that these girls, when they were told about their father, and that a rite can be, I mean, the after death rites can be done and all that, they felt all right and they got rid of it. Can you imagine? This is experimented and found out now. I mean, this we have been doing for the last 10 years, but recently it has been found out that if a girl is suffering from this disease of anorexia, you can cure it. If the father is dead, then only it happens. So fatherhood, a man who is not a good father, a man who has a bad father, a girl who is too much attached to the father, or a girl who is not treated nicely also by her husband, also the husband is there. If he doesn't look after her well, she can suffer. Now the center part, this one, the one he is there, center heart, it's also a very, very important center where the goddess, the world, we say the mother of the world, Jagadamba she is called, he has incarnated. It's a very important thing for us, because when you suffer, say from any insecurities, then this center starts going into palpitations. This center starts vibrating very much. Till the boy is of 12 years or a girl is of 12 years, in the sternum bone, the antibodies are created by this center. This center creates the antibodies, and they circulate in the whole body and remain there. And whenever there is an attack, either from an entity or from any disease or anything, these antibodies fight it. And that is the center which is very important, especially for women. If their motherhood is challenged, or if they are insecure, if their husbands are making them insecure by any of their behavior, then they develop this trouble of this center where they may get breast cancer. Breast cancer comes to women when they are insecure. Only it can be cured when this center is awakened. Breast cancer can be very easily cured if they could be secured through awakening of this center, of the mother of the universe. And then we have the center up there, which is the Vishuddhi chakra, which is a very important for you, because it is adorned by the completion of this evolution, as called as Virat. It is Sri Krishna who is the complete incarnation of this primordial being. And he is placed there. It is he who is the witness, who is watching. When the Kundalini rises over this, you start witnessing the whole thing. It has got 16 subplexuses, and which look after your face, your nose, eyes, ears, and all these places. And when this center is out, then you have all kinds of problems. Say the left side. Left side, Vishuddhi chakra catches when you feel guilty, when you are deficient, when you start thinking that it is very wrong too, I should have not done this and all that, then the left Vishuddhi catches. Or also with smoking, it catches. Smoking spoils the center very much. Imagine, in America, the percentage of smokers is the maximum. Can you imagine? In this center only, where they are born, this is the maximum here. Like England is the heart of the universe, where they are lethargic. Europe is the liver of the world, where they are drinking. America is the Vishuddhi of the world, where they are smoking. What the justice done to themselves and to God, their creator. So smoking is against the center. Thank God now it is established that it causes cancer. But still people are smoking. That's what does it matter? But this is a very, very important center for us, because this is the time when we raised our head. The center came up. Now see, the ego and superego start developing actually from here. So this gives rise to ego and superego. Somebody is a very arrogant person, catches on the right. Who is very, very aggressive type, he catches on the right vision. In the center, a person who is against God, who is anti-God, who is against collectivity, who is talking against God, who is openly saying things against God, catches on the center. So this center, as it is very important for you, because if you can awaken this center within you here, as I told you, you become as powerful as Shri Krishna. Shri Krishna has a Samhara Shakti. He has the power to kill. He has 4 special things with him, 4 weapons by which he kills. But one of them is this, in his hand is a discus. And this discus is shown around the Saturn which you see. And with this discus, at any distance, he can destroy. So his destructive powers are built in you. Nobody can destroy you. You have to just get to yourself and become yourself. You'll become so powerful a nation, but powerful in loving, in being compassionate and affectionate. In the real sense of the word, not the way we are now trying to help others. It's not the way. It can be very disgraceful sometimes. The way we try to help others can be very disgraceful. You'll be amazed how sometimes you people have helped and have created problem for others. I'll give you a very simple example which is really surprising and astonishing. Some years back we had a dearth of wheat and people sent horrible wheat to India, horrible, that even the animals would not eat, just to help us, you see. We are not so badly off people, we are very fussy about food. We may be poor, but we don't eat everything. We are very fussy. So people threw away that wheat outside. That wheat grew into a grass which was called as Congress grass. Can you imagine? And that grass started moving from the roads to the fields, from the fields to all the trees, and started engulfing them. It was like a mad grass. It was like a malignant grass, eating away everything that they, imagine, as it is we had dearth of thing and this thing came, and we didn't know what to do with it. So we tried some Sahaja Yoga tricks and it has worked, and thank God that grass is now finished. But from that, with that grass, you had sent some other seeds of acacia, and these also people threw away. Out of these came out such horrible trees of acacia that it has got thorns which are poisonous. And in the villages they have grown so big that children can't play. And if they touch that, they get very seriously ill. It's a very serious, which you have done so innocently. There's no grace about it, I think, the way it was done. And that's how we can create problem through our help to others, because what is there to help? Who is the other? If you are the collectivity, if you are Shri Krishna, then what are you helping? You are helping yourself. This is your own finger. If you help your own finger, you don't help it in a different way than you help other fingers. That means you become collective being, and you are. People like Abraham Lincoln, as I said yesterday, and great people in this country established these great ideals of liberty. And liberty, they said that even Roosevelt once said that poverty anywhere is a threat to prosperity anywhere. What a great thing to say, to feel that oneness with others, that anywhere poverty is a threat to our prosperity. All this collectivity has been expressed by your great men in this country. Not only, but the sense of responsibility, because it is on your shoulders. The responsibility of making others, the self realize, is your responsibility. You are the responsible nation. You are responsible for the whole universe. Whatever things you do here, that goes outside. You took to rock and roll, people started doing rock and roll. You did anything nonsensical, that started going abroad. Anything nonsensical you do here spreads everywhere, because Americans are doing jeans, now everybody wears, even in India. Imagine in that hot country they are wearing very strong starched ones. They get all kinds of problems with that, circulation problems, but Americans are doing, everybody is becoming American. in India. That's it. In every developing country, you have put your hand, you have interest in everyone, but should be done after realization. Then you feel the pangs of others. You feel the heart. You feel the real pain of others within yourself, and you do it not because you want to do it for others, but do it because you want to save yourself out of that pain. You do it for yourself. If somebody is drowned and you try to save a person who is drowned, then you don't save him, you actually are saving yourself, because something in you is getting drowned there. And that happens to you when you become that collective being. When you become the spirit, then it happens to you. Before that, whatever you do is disgraceful. Sometimes can be harmful, can be very ugly, and sometimes it can be so grotesque that people say, all right, you keep your help to yourself, we don't want to have any more of this. I mean, you take away all the self-respect of people. So one has to understand that you stand here in this world, in this universe, as the collective being, as the representative of that collective being at this Vishuddhicha. And you have to give with your hands. For giving, this applies to your hands. And you must give. Those hands which have never given are no good. They are very insensitive hands. You must give. And that must come into you. And not giving for giving's sake, but nirvaj, as they say, without any return about it. Nothing. It's just giving, just flowing. Just like the sun's rays are coming to you. They don't want anything in return, do they? Just flowing. And that should happen. If Sahaja Yoga takes to it, I hope it takes to America, that Americans accept Sahaja, that it works out. You have already got all kinds of horrible people here. I don't know how you are going to work it out, but God willing, with your determination, I'm sure. This is the first Unity Church I'm visiting, and I hope that in other Unity churches also it would be made convenient for me, and we can save other people also, and they can become realized souls, and they can become the Vishuddhi Chakras, the responsible people, men of God, those who have to become prophets, that they are responsible, that they have to make others also prophets and save so many seekers who are gathered in this great country of yours, because they know here it will happen, and that they should be enabled to enter into the kingdom of God, because the time has come for that. So we come up to Vishuddhi Chakra, and the last center chakra here is the center of Christ. Should I go? If I do it tomorrow, we'll do that. All right? Tomorrow about Christ I'll tell you, because I want to take 1 hour explaining him very well. I was very much impressed by your whole idea about Christ, the unity, the integration, and your symbols are very correct. Everything is just there. Somebody has to just trigger it and it will work out. First, you must get your realization. Grow into it. Develop your discrimination. You become your own guru. And then everything that you are doing in this Unity Church will have a great meaning. You can prove it. You can prove it that there is God, there is Christ, there are all these incarnations. Christ himself has said that those who are not against me are with me. These are the people. And I'm sure one day it will happen that Unity Church will show its own worth, its own explanation of its existence, why it came into existence. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you may ask, and then we'll have the session for realization. Just take it out. It's too much for me. Should hand it like that. Nah.
Yes.
Sometimes in meditation or in chanting.
Can you speak up?
Sometimes in meditation and in chanting, the person will be rocking. Would you consider that a negative thing?
Sometimes in meditation people will rock or move. Is this a negative thing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. You should not rock. There should be no movement. The eye should be steady. There should be no movement in the eyelids. Nothing. This rocking is absolutely wrong. All these things should not happen. That's not meditation. Meditation is where you are absolutely normal. You are always in meditation after realization. You are in meditation. Yeah?
I've studied with Paramahansa Yogananda, his SRF, Self-Realization Fellowship. And one of the things they teach is to focus the eyes, with the eyes closed only on the ajna.
I must say that I don't want to start any controversy. That's one thing sure. But I'll tell you that proof of the pudding is in the eating. Let's go this way. First of all, logically we should see. We have to get baptism through here, not through here. Do we get baptism through here? If the door is here, what's the use of breaking this window? And focusing an effort is not going to give you realization. It's wrong. You see, this pampers human effort. You see, it pampers you that you can put in an effort. You cannot. One must accept this position. We cannot put in an effort for a living thing. For example, as I told you, for a seed, if you have to sprout it, you have to put it in the mother earth. You cannot pull it out, isn't it? Whatever you may try, you cannot pull it out and sprout. You cannot put in any effort. Any effort is wrong, is against spontaneity and living things. So no effort is needed as such.
Yes.
I'd like to ask her about that center where the immune body is developed. At what age and what can you do in order to make that immunity get bigger? Or
She says two questions. At what age does the immune bodies start developing? And secondly, is there any way in which you can expand the capacity of the immune bodies?
Of course. Of course, that is what Sahaja Yoga is. When you become the truth, all untruth falls off. That is what Sahaja Yoga is. Absolutely, that is what it is. Tomorrow I am going to tell you about Christ and about cancer, about all these immune bodies, how we fight them. That may be day after tomorrow, I don't know. But tomorrow may not be, but day after tomorrow I'll tell you how to grow into it. Absolutely. You learn how to protect. You learn how to fight. Absolutely. That is what happens. After realization, then you must learn the divine technique. Not before realization. After realization. Not before. Before it is connected, what's the use of playing with it? It has to be connected first. What is it?
Any other questions?
Yes. What are the avenues available to keep these channels open?
What are the avenues available to keep the channels open?
To be your spirit. And we will let you know later on how to work it out, how to balance yourself, how the imbalances are there. This I'll do it on Wednesday. I will tell you how to keep them clear, how to keep your chakras clear, how to work it out, everything I'll tell you. And also, we don't have a book about it, isn't it? But in any case,
The Advent, yes.
yes, we have a very big book on this Sahaja Yoga, which of course we do not sell to everyone, but we'll see about it. We'll see about it, because you people are growing very fast. If you people really grow, then we'll sell it to you also. But normally we don't sell it to everyone.
Do you feel Hatha Yoga is necessary?
Not at all, nothing. On the contrary, Hatha Yoga creates a problem. I told you in the morning to a lady who was doing Hatha Yoga. I told her how Hatha Yoga in the modern times means nothing but physical acrobats. It is not that. Hatha yoga was practiced about, I don't know how many years back, about 8,000 years back, when we had a different system of life, where children from 5 to 25 lived with a guru who was a realized soul and led a very celibate life. To such an extent that university, any university, say somebody's university was Vishwamitra, then that realized soul was Vishwamitra, and that university people could not marry. Even today they cannot marry. Even today they cannot marry each other. The celibacy of that kind was present in those days. And in that time, when you are completely celibate, you are innocent, you were given these Ashtanga yogas. There are 8-fold parts of this Hatha yoga, out of which 8th one is Yamaniyama, where the discipline and things are there to maintain a proper life. That was given to them. And then after that, when that was done, the maintenance of the proper life and all that was taught. Also they were told the exercises when according to the movement of the Kundalini, wherever was the problem. Supposing the problem is in your particular center, then you have to do that movement. That particular exercise you have to do. But it's, as I told you this morning, that your car has not started, you are still at home, and you are paying the toll for what? You must move to find out where is the obstruction, then you pay the toll. And nowadays it is so absurd that we take the Hatha yoga in such a manner that we take the whole medicine box without having any disease and get diseased. It's a big science. It's a very big science one has to understand. Everything is correlated. How is your center? Which center is catching? What center requires what kind of treatment? How to clear it? And this technique you will learn in no time. It's very simple once you get your realization.
Is there anything that we can start doing now?
Yes, just now I'm going to give you realization. All right? That's it. That's just like a seeker. Just like a seeker.
On the sheet it tells them how to meditate as well.
Oh, that I will tell later. Now what about you? You have been raising your hand.
What kind of a yoga did Lord Krishna practice?
Sahaja yoga.
According to Yogananda,
Huh.
he said that Lord Krishna practiced Kriya Yoga.
Not at all. He's wrong. It is just to apportion himself to... You see, Sri Krishna, if I have time I can tell them, he in his Gita, he has prescribed 4 things. But Krishna was an incarnation of diplomacy. He was an incarnation of divine diplomacy, we should say. Because when he told Arjuna that you find it within yourself, the first thing, he was not a businessman, so he told the best thing first. He said, find it within yourself, the jnana, the awareness. In your awareness you should find it. You should find your spirit. You should become that. This is the first thing he told. But he was that time a mediocre, an intellectual I should say. And he said that you are telling me to fight the war. And here you are saying that you find yourself and you become yourself and to be a witness. What Sri Krishna meant was that you become a witness, then the whole thing becomes a drama. But he didn't understand. He being a father, I give an analogy of a father who is telling his son that the horse is behind the cart, so put the horse in front, so the cart will move. But the son is saying that why not sitting down here, I move the cart. So he says, all right, go ahead. He says, all right, go ahead. Because if you tell them straightforward, they don't listen to you, so tell them in another way. So the diplomacy has the essence that you give absurd conditions. Such absurd conditions that people discover later on and find that it was absurd. So the absurd condition, he said, that the first thing you do is to do your karmas, do what you want to do, and put it at the lotus feet of the Lord. It's an absurd condition. You cannot do it because your ego is intact. You may believe I am serving the Lord. You may believe it. Believe is different from reality or not. Because ego is there, and that's why you feel hurt. Sometimes you take the credit. Unless and until you are realized, unless and until you become a hollow personality, you never say like that. After realization, what you say? What you say? It's going, it's coming. Mother, it's not working. It just doesn't work. You start talking in a third person. You don't say, I'm giving you realization. You don't say so. It's not working. It has worked. It has come up. What? Realization. You don't say, I. So you become an akarmi. Means like the sun shines, it doesn't say I shine. There is no karma attached. This was the first thing he said. But this absurdity people never saw. And even today people say, I am serving the Lord. But you are not even connected. How are you serving Him? That's one thing. Because there is ego, you are identified with ego, actually you are serving your ego. Unless and until you become realized, you do not serve God. This is one point, which was absurd, he told. The second point, this is Karma Yoga. The second point, he said, was that you should do Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yoga is that you should worship God, pray to Him. But as usual, because he was diplomacy, he put a very interesting word called Ananya. You should do Ananya Bhakti. Ananya means when there is not the other. When there is not the other. When you are not the other. When you are one with God. That means all those people who are talking Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna on Oxford Street are not connected. They are spoiling, their throat will get throat cancers. You are not yet connected. You should be Ananya. Ananya means you should be realized. You should be connected with God. Imagine, supposing you're President Reagan. I go to him and stand before his house and start calling Reagan, Reagan, Reagan. I'll be arrested. I must have a proper protocol. I must have proper permission. I should have a proper way of going there, isn't it? Everybody starts calling God as if he's in his pocket. God, give me a job, give me money, give me a car, give me this. I mean, imagine. You have to be connected with God. That's what he said very clearly, Ananya. But these people, these are blind people, they cannot see through. Then the third thing, he said, that it happens within you that you get these happenings. It's the Kundalini Yoga. He said that when the Kundalini starts, the Jalandhar Bandha and all these bandhas take place, when the Kundalini rises, these granthis go into a particular kind of a formation, like a car. When you start, all the engine starts moving. So he described all the engine, how it moves. That this Mr. Yogananda picked up. And he said he preached Kriya Yoga. That means if you say have a car which has stopped, which has not yet started, you move the wheel and you move all the machines, will it work? You cannot do it. It happens automatically. It is spontaneous happening within us. When we eat our food, how the food is digested? Automatically. In the same way, when Kundalini rises to support its rise, all these bandhas and all these kriyas take place, and khechari. Also your tongue is pulled in. So people, they cut their tongue, put it back. Is that the way? It's absolutely artificial, it's stupid. To do like that, many people have seen. I don't know, the early ones who came of Yogananda, they had the tongues wagging like that. Imagine by doing all these things, take out your eyes, take out your nose. This is not the way. And that you suffer, you shave your heads, wear a kind of a cloth. You cannot. It's a thing that's living within you and acts in a living way. You cannot just maneuver it. Artificially you cannot. It has to start. Like even this camera, you see, a television, anything, this has to be put to the mains. You cannot start with your finger the camera working, can you? The electricity has to be there. In the same way, energy of Kundalini has to be there to work it out. This is absurd. So the Kriya Yoga, which is described of Sri Krishna, It's the living process. He said it's the living tree. I'm surprised. Human beings are very great, I must say, the way they may make a pie out of everyone. So all these great incarnations came on this earth. They wrote it very clearly. They said everything very clearly. It was very simple. There was nothing to be so much deluded. Of course, he used a word like Ananya. You see, in any dictionary, what is the meaning of word Ananya has been when there is not the other? What have we made of Christ? What have we made of Krishna? What have we made of Rama? When I see this, I'm amazed. But you can't make anything out of me, because you will get your realization. After that, if you try to do anything to me, you lose your vibration straightforward. I can tell you this, man. There was a gentleman who got his realization from me, an Indian, typically. He went to New York, started his thing, and then in Los Angeles, he started a Sahaja Yoga Center. And he came back to see me in Bombay. And the Sahaja Yogis told me that he's just giving us a fit. It's horrible. His vibrations are horrible. I said, I know that. You don't talk to him. So I called him. I said, what do you do? Oh, I've started a big thing there in Los Angeles and in New York and this and that. All right. Can I have a brochure? You won't believe he had written that for ordinary vibrations, $75, and for extraordinary special vibrations, $175. So I said, oh God, what's this? I said, how do you do this way? He says, yes, mother, that's how we have to do after I have to live. I said, you have to live, all right. You do your work that you are doing. You are teaching something, you do that. But you cannot sell these vibrations. I didn't give you for selling. Did you buy from me? He wouldn't believe. And he was very angry. And then he went away. He said, there's a guru who is in Calicut. He's a very wonderful man. I said, you go and see him. He went and saw him. And this guru wouldn't allow him to enter into his house. He threw stones at him. He wouldn't allow him to enter even the gate. So he went back to the station. He was sitting down there. Then somebody met him from the guru. He said that guru was saying that he went and insulted mother, and how does he come to be here? I'll not see his face. Then he sat there for 3 days and he was allowed to go, and then guru sent a very good poem about me in Sanskrit language, which he read it out to me. But the fellow is just the same still. He's not changed. It's just the same. Now, he has no vibrations. He's not a Sahaja Yogi. He has nothing to do, but he has an ashram. He's making money out of it. Of course, we have withdrawn our photographs and everything, but he's just the same. What am I to do? He's now making them stand on their heads and do all kinds of things. And he has more people than you are here. That's the best part of it. People are more attracted to these things than to reality. It's very true. When I came last time to America, there was a lady. I told her that your guru was believing in all miracles and you better not start it. She said, no. I want the ultimate, I want the parama, I'm not going to go into it. I said, all right. Promise me. She said, yes. But then she started getting some sort of a rice falling from her hand and all that. And then she started doing her things, you see. She called people, told them even the name of the horses which are going to win. All sorts of things. And you won't believe, when I went back to America, to my most embarrassed condition, I found that she had 3,000 disciples falling at her feet. And she was absolutely possessed. She came to me and I told her, what are you doing? She said, Mother, this is the powers you have given me. I said, I've never given you these powers to beat people and tell them about horses. This is absurd. She said, but this is happening to me. I said, all supraconscious, all nonsense. She wouldn't listen. I said, all right, tell this gentleman about his future. She told him something. He said, it's all wrong. It's not true. I said, tell this lady She couldn't tell. So she said, Mother, have you taken away my powers? I said, if they were your powers, I would have garlanded, I would have worshipped you. But they are not yours. They have gone, finished. But she would not give up. You see, popularity. She was on with it. Now, only thing is, she's in a lunatic asylum. So all these things they do. They know how to make these things. They're so superficial. They don't know what injuries they're doing to themselves and to others. Now, you were asking some question?
I wanted to ask you about the meditations from the Maharishi Mahayoga, what your opinion was.
Now again the controversy. Again the controversy. The less said the better. All right?
The what?
The less said the better. For example, the mantras he gives you. You know what they mean? One of them, Inga. It means the tail of the scorpion. Now where is the scorpion and where is the tail? When the Kundalini has started, then you should know which center it is catching and what mantra to be said. It is not that you can just give a mantra and charge 300 pounds. And people do pay. And this flying squad that he has started, the head of that flying squad, here he is. He's sitting down here, he will tell you. The head of that, where he went and learned from him, flying so-called. He suffered from epilepsy, his wife suffered from epilepsy, his daughter suffered from epilepsy, and they came to me. And they wrote to him about me. In that miserable condition. He was the head, he was going to teach them flying. I told him, why don't you ask your guru to go on this leaning tower of Pisa and make him fly? And you pay him some money for that. It will be a good idea. They paid 3,000 pounds for flying. You are not going to become birds now, are you? But it is very difficult, you know, to accept, really, because you have paid so much money. This is like we have paid it. So better have it. You see, whatever, like you go to a restaurant, you pay for it. And it may be bad, but you eat it. It's after all you have paid for it. That's human nature, isn't it? Oh, it's terrible. It's terrible. And difficult to give realization to people from all these gurus. I can tell you. Yogananda or this, what's his name is? This Bandasura's name, what is his name? Muktananda. I know them very well. I know them. I've known them for ages. And they know me too. Yes.
Are there other sources where you can reach your realization other than through you?
Are there other sources where you can reach your realization other than through you?
Through me, it's not a question of through me or anything. It's through your Kundalini. Is your Kundalini within you?
Is there someone else that can guide you? Or?
I don't know. I haven't seen many. I wish somebody could. Like, you see, people are very much hurt to see that I'm doing it. I said, Baba, you do it. I'll be very happy to retire. Really. They said, why you, mother? I said, really, I don't know why I was chosen for this. It's a thankless job. You must have tremendous patience, I tell you. The day I retire, my husband will pay you for that. I can assure you. He's telling me that you are trying to put patches to the heavens which are falling. He doesn't believe that I can do it. It's a thankless job. Absolutely a thankless job. But what to do? Once I did feel a little frustrated. And I said, let it be now. Doesn't matter, let the destruction come in. And then, you know, this clever man, he brought a photograph of mine with my eyes so compassionate. Such compassion flowing. I said, better do it. It's you. What can you do? You can't get out of it. That's what you are. So I have to do it, my children. I have to do it. If you could do it, I'll be very happy. Anyone, I'll be extremely happy and retire.
Other Sahaja yogis can.
Of course. Other Sahaja yogis can give you realization. For example, Warren himself has given realization to I don't know how many thousand. But I have known of a person who has given realization to more than 10,000 people in India. Yes. Yes, yes. You can give realization. You can give it. All right?
Is the lotus position any special advantage over sitting normally?
Well,
Is the lotus position any special advantage?
not in Sahaja Yoga. Not in Sahaja Yoga. You see, now God has decided to give you in any position you sit. He has to save his creation. Many people can't even sit on the ground. So they are not to be forced now. Whatever position you have, you are all right. You drink, all right. You take drugs, all right. You are a thief, all right. Any kind, come along. Once you get realization, these things will drop out. This is the trick. Better come along and have it. There's no position required, nothing required. Only the desire to be the spirit, that's all.
They want it.
Now they want it, that's all. So, that's all. That's the best way, all right? Now those who got it yesterday are here, some of them. And those who have come for the first time are also here.
They just want you to repeat that. Those that have.
No, yesterday some people got realization. And some of you are new people. We'll have to later on see them. Those who are new and those who got realization, especially yesterday, I would like to meet them. Because yesterday I could meet them. So I would like to meet them, and those who are new also, we'll see if we can work it out. Now, if you can put both the hands towards me and put your feet on the ground with your shoes behind you. This thing. Those who have got realization have to know all about it. You must know about your chakras, must know how to raise Kundalini, you must know how to give realization to others. This has to work out. If you do not give realization to others, you may lose your vibrations. You may. Because the light that doesn't give light is of no use. What's the use of giving light to a thing which doesn't give light at all to others? It's not for you, it's for others. But you also start feeling yourself. Now close your eyes. Please close your eyes. Are you better today? Is this one is better?
No, he's still getting it intermittently.
Better? Left side. Put your right hand on your heart. Keep your eyes shut and left hand towards me. Like this, as if for asking. Now close your eyes. Don't open your eyes. Please don't open your eyes. Now you have to ask a question. Mother, am I the spirit? Ask in your heart. 3 times. Ask the question, Mother, am I the spirit? Better. Now ask a question. Put your right hand on your left side of the stomach. Left side. Right side of the stomach, sorry. Left side of the stomach. Right hand on the left side of the stomach. Ask a question, closing your eyes. Mother, am I my own guru? Right. Left side of the stomach. Mother, am I my own guru? Ask a question. Ask 3 times. Better. Ask 10 times is better. Put both the feet on the ground, touching properly on the ground. The sole should touch the ground. It's all right. You are all right. Ask a question, Mother, am I my own guru? No, it's all right. If you are sitting on the ground, it's all right. You can sit properly, yes. It's all right. You are sitting all right. If you are sitting on the ground, it's different. Now put your right hand again on your heart. And without feeling guilty, this I say thrice, without feeling guilty, you should say that, please forgive me if I have done any mistakes in my seeking. Or just say, please forgive me. For any seeking or anything you have paid more attention to your body or anything, for imbalances, anything. Just say thrice. Without feeling guilty. That is very important, not to feel guilty at all. Better? Now put both the hands towards me. Both the hands. And just please say, Mother, make me my own guru. Say it thrice. Put the fingers towards me. Not towards yourself, but towards me. All right. Good. Now you are balanced. Now you say, Mother, please give me my realization. Is your right to have it. This is your bank account. You have to just cash it. I cannot force it to you. You have to ask for it. If you don't ask for it, I cannot surpass your freedom to ask for it. You have to ask for it. If you don't ask for it, it won't work. Ekadash. Now as we are in Vishuddhi Chakra, we have to say, Mother, am I the part and parcel of the whole? Am I the part and parcel of the whole? Or am I the part and parcel of the collective being? Ask a question. What is it?
Repeat it. Repeat the...
You just ask a question, am I the part and parcel of the whole? Keep your eyes shut. Otherwise the Kundalini won't rise above the Agya. It won't rise above the Agya. Just keep your eyes shut. Those who don't want to shut their eyes should go really. Or they should shut eyes because they spoil the attention of others. Because in the collective being, everybody has to do the same. One cell start doing something else, it spoils. So to help others, please keep your eyes shut. Now better. Again, ask for your realization. Mother, please give me my realization. As you ask for your right, you ask that, but with humility. That I can. Good. Now you may raise your right hand on your head and see if there's a cool breeze. Move your hand a little and see. It's like a little draft. There's no air conditioning on. Some of you might feel hot. Doesn't matter. If the heat is there, it's all right. The heat is coming out. Now, you put your hands towards me again and see if you are getting in your hand. Today I spoke about the Vishuddhi, so must work out. Gives a little shock, I think. Does it? Maybe at this point. Yes. Good. If you are not feeling in your hands, you will feel in your head. Again, see if this is there. If you are feeling in your hand, it's all right. It's perfect. Now those who are not feeling at all, you have to come on the stage. But now I'll go round and see the people who are sitting, and individually I'll attend to them. Tomorrow morning, are we going to have?
No. Television. On television.
I'm sorry, tomorrow morning we'll not have a workshop, but Wednesday morning we'll have a workshop here. But evening we can have a program. And there I will tell you about Christ and about the last chakra, which is the Sahasrara.
Mother would like to meet all those who've gained their realization. So those that are feeling it in the hands or above your head, just stay quietly in meditation with your hands resting. Those that haven't felt it, very quietly just come up onto the stage, please.
And we'll work it out on them. People will help you. Please.
We want to help, so
Yes, please.
by all means come out if you haven't
should
felt it.
not delay. You see, today some people may not get it, they'll get it tomorrow. So it is something you must have. All of you must get it. Work it out. We have to work, not you. Get it. It's very good. You didn't feel yesterday? Yesterday you did not feel? No?
It's still getting a lot of heat.
Still heat, eh? That's from your right heart. Because they smoke. You see, left hand on your right heart. That should left on the right hand. Yeah. Are you feeling heat?
My hands are sweating.
That's it. That's very true with this Yogananda. Now you just say, Mother, make me my own guru. You just say that, all right? It will work out. Then you place this photograph towards these people. All of them can sit here. You can work it out on them. But I would like to meet people who have got realization. Just sit down here. Can you remove my seat from here and let them see it? All right, and put a light there. Ravi, have you gone? This comes here. What's it? It's all right.
It's okay.
See?